Balance. The first thing that comes to mind when we think about balance may be the ability to distribute weight equally in order to maintain an upright or centered position. Due to the equilibrium created when this happens, we often associate balance with equality. However, balance and equality are quite different from one another, despite their correlations. Balance can be more understood through the ancient Chinese philosophical concept of yin and yang, where everything in the universe is governed by a cosmic duality, as in opposing but interconnected forces. So, how does balance apply to us? Well, let's start with our solar system. There is a balance between the inertia of the Earth and the gravitational pull of the Sun, as the Earth travels along its elliptical path around the Sun. This is known as orbital velocity. The orbital velocity also depends on the distance between the Earth and the Sun. This distance is also known as the Goldilocks zone, because planets orbiting at that just right distance from a star are not too hot and not too cold to hold liquid water, which can support life, just like our Earth. In addition, there is another balance between the Earth and the Sun, known as the radiation budget. Radiation budget is the balance between the incoming radiation from the Sun and the outgoing radiation reflected and emitted back into space from the Earth. A budget that's out of balance can cause the temperature of the atmosphere to excessively increase or decrease, consequently affecting the climate, something we are experiencing presently. Going further, within the Earth itself, there are various unique ecosystems that require balance to maintain their sustainability. Ecosystems are groups of life forms that live together in balance to create stable communities. If those communities experience drastic changes to their environments, the balance within those communities may falter and destabilize, leading to severe effects and consequences such as ecological collapse and mass extinction. Biodiversity is absolutely essential for all ecosystems to function properly. This is because biodiversity plays a major role in the integrity of all forests, grasslands, and marine ecosystems. They also provide important adaptation functions, such as a buffer for climate extremes, by regulating temperatures and hydrological cycles, protecting soils, ensuring food security, and creating options for economic diversification, especially during periods when climate change impacts reduce agricultural yields. Healthy, balanced ecosystems are more resilient and are able to recover from a variety of disasters. Whether natural or man-made. Are human civilizations considered types of ecosystems as well? Technically, a thriving human civilization would also be a community of organisms interacting with each other and their physical surroundings. However, human societies tend to focus more on economic growth rather than ecological stability. More accurately speaking, humans will seek economic expansion at the expense of ecological balance. Unfortunately, the majority of us are born into economic enslavement, meaning we must work to earn monies in order to trade for essential products like food, water, housing, and so on. But we are also constantly targeted by industries and are programmed to obtain non-essential products and consume foods and use drugs unnecessary for health and nutrition. As we struggle daily to create this work-life balance, it can become difficult to manage our emotions due to the stresses created by the economic obligations imposed on us. So many of us may seek external reliefs that can generate into compulsive behaviors, which affect us negatively, such as drug abuse, eating disorders, and drinking, just to name a few. Despite that, a growing number of us are opting for more positive ways to counter the negative emotions and stresses. Since everything we experience in the world outside of our bodies are actually signals processed by our minds, yoga and meditation is becoming more explored. But it should be noted and understood that Western societies and modern cultures have found ways to capitalize on this, thus making yoga and meditation a multi-billion-dollar industry. However, at its core philosophy, yoga, meaning to bind or unite, essentially is the practice of finding balance between consciousness and matter. By placing our bodies into awkward and uncomfortable positions, we can train our minds to become stable and flexible. Therefore, whatever awkward and uncomfortable situations may arise in life, we are better prepared to handle the stresses both physically and mentally. We may have heard the saying balance is key. There will always be positive forces and negative forces throughout the universe, and none of us are perfect. But every day we have the opportunities to right our wrongs. And if we are incapable or unwilling to do something positive, the least we can do, to the best of our ability, is cause no harm and seek balance throughout our lives.